Hi guys, it's me, Simeon Onaja, and this is Tales of Leadership Traits and Fails. What we do here is just try to improve or develop our leadership skills by taking a closer look at leadership news from across the world. And today, I'd just like to ask a very, very simple question. Now, this is the question. Do you think there's any such thing as a single most important or indispensable ingredient for effective leadership? If you think there is, what would you say that single ingredient is? Now, to help us understand where I'm going with this question, I'm going to play a couple of videos. Just try to make the videos as short as I can. And then, hopefully, after watching these videos, you will get an idea of where we're going to.
That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN,
right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may ask one other question, Mr. President. If I may ask
Peter,
one other
go ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President,
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts
Well,
his
I'm
butt
not a
like
big
the rest
fan of
us.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said,
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course
Okay,
of
just sit down, please.
As recently as yesterday evening, your party was defending Mr. Ghani's actions, saying essentially that he played by the rules. This morning,
Hey, guys. Hey, we have respect for journalists in this country. They ask tough questions and they're supposed to. Okay? Sorry. Go ahead, Omar.
this morning you were saying that his actions are inappropriate.
I'm saying this on live TV. What? No, put that thing down. Let me address. What type of stupid question is that? What type of stupid question is that? Bankrolling who? Do you know who you are talking to? I will not take any questions from this man. What type of insulting question is that? Which bankroll? To do what? Who can give me money for anything? Who do you think you are talking to? Bankroll what? Go and report yourself to your publisher. Bankroll what? Please don't insult me here. I don't want to take any questions from this man. Very stupid. I could see from your face before you got here how stupid you are. Don't ever talk to me like that. Who do you think you're talking to? Bankroll who? You think that I'm one of those ones you'll be from who? From how? When? Where? How? You have a small mind. Very small mind. Don't judge me by your own standards. I've been in politics since 1990. I'm not one of these politicians you think will just come. I've been locked up how many times by this government? Suffered. I've been persecuted. Unlike most of the politicians you follow for brown envelope. You. Don't ever judge me by that standard. I spend, I don't take. And I'm not a poor man. I've never been and I will never be. Bankroll how? Don't ever suggest that to me. I'm sorry, that was deeply insulting. I don't often get annoyed in press conferences. I've been doing this type of thing for many, many years. Don't you ever make that kind of suggestion to me. Bankroll who, a former minister, a lawyer. Don't ever try that with me again. No. Don't, please. You see me well. Don't ever. All right? I have a short fuse. Okay? Don't. Try it with others. Don't. I won't just say right now. I will hit you hard. Don't. And if anybody sent you to ask that question and gave you brand new, go and tell them you got more than they bargained for to do it. Very rude. It's not the standard of daily trust at all. And I will report you to your publisher. Thank you. Any other questions? Imagine that. Somebody has been on the road for how long? You are coming to talk about that. Very stupid.
I told you that the civil rights of LGBT Americans is... Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, you know what? No. No. Hey. Yeah, listen. You're in my house. And you don't start. You don't. No. Come on. It's not. You know what? It's not respectful when you get invited to somebody. You're not gonna get a good response from me by interrupting me like this. I'm sorry. No. Shame on you. You shouldn't be doing this. Come on. Can we escort this person out? Come on. You can either stay and be quiet, or we'll have to take you out. All right. Can we have this person removed, please? Come on. No. Come on. Come on, guys. I'm just going to wait till we get this done. Okay, where was I? So, as a general rule, I am just fine with a few hecklers, but not when I'm up in the house. You know what I mean? Because, my attitude is if you're eating the hors d'oeuvres, you know what I'm saying? Okay. And drinking the booze. I know that's right. Anyway, where was I? I love you back. I know that.
Now, from these 3 videos, or 3 or 4 of them, I'm sure, 3 or 4 videos that you've watched, you've seen people who are supposed to be leaders, or should I say are leaders, and you've seen the way they've handled very similar situations of them addressing or dealing with the press. Now, over time, I've seen that one of the greatest challenges of leadership all over the world is dealing with the press, because it looks like once you just become a leader, people are just all over looking for ways of making sure you're doing right, you see. And the most difficult thing with doing right is, if you're a leader of say 1 million people, or let's even say 100 people, it's almost impossible to do one thing that would make everybody happy. So you will always constantly be under media attack. And so these videos you saw were leaders or supposed leaders who were at one point in their leadership journey face to face with this, media or journalists' nightmare. And you can see the variation or the difference in how these guys handled these situations. So, if we take a close look at these videos, there are 4 skills or 4 qualities or 4 traits that we can actually see playing out. One is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Number 2 is self-management, self-regulation, self-control. Number 3 is empathy, being able to connect with people and understand or feel what people are feeling. And the 4th thing I noticed, a variation in all of these videos, is people skills, social skills, ability to connect with people. Now, the difference between these videos you just saw actually lies in how these 4 elements, 4 skills were used. The 4 skills again are self-awareness, self-control, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. Now, these 4 things, or 4 skills, have been referred to or described by the man that has popularly that is popularly known now as the father of emotional intelligence, as the 4 domains of emotional intelligence. And so that's the word, emotional intelligence, EI, emotional quotients. It's been, what we're saying basically is the ability to, master or understand your own emotions, and then quickly understand the emotion of other people and try to either manage or influence people's emotions. That's basically what emotional intelligence is about. And I know you've heard of it before. Many people have been saying emotional intelligence, but not much attention has been given to it as it deserves. Now, I'll quickly quote the man I just referred to, Daniel Goleman. That's the father of emotional intelligence. Something very profound and strong that he said about emotional intelligence. He said, IQ, intelligence quotients, which is what everybody wants to get, have high IQ. That's what your job is looking for. Technical skills. Okay, so technical skills, intelligence quotients, those are the 2 things we actually emphasize on. So all the years we spend in school and all the other places, all we're trying to do is to improve on our skills, technical skills and all of them. Now, he said those 2 things are important. Technical skills, intelligence quotients, very important. But they are nowhere as important as emotional intelligence. Now, when we talk about technical skills and IQ, that's what we always focus on. Technical skills, most likely all my years in the university and all the schooling I've done in my whole life, all I'm trying to develop is some level of skills, technical skills, that I would, be able to do certain things effectively. But he's saying that all of those skills are not anywhere as important as emotional intelligence. And like I said earlier, emotional intelligence just comes basically to you mastering your own emotions and then trying to understand other people's emotions and try to manage or influence other people's emotions. And if we look at it from a practical point of view, there is fact in what this man said. And apart from that, logical sense point of view, there are loads of studies to back this up. There's this famous study that showed clearly that emotional intelligence contributes heavily to the student performance of students in school. Now, emotional intelligence. These 3 videos we saw showed scenarios where people would have been able to manage their emotions. Now, in the case of FFK, and let me quickly add that those videos are not in any way meant to compare those people to say, okay, this is a better leader or not. No, it's just meant for us to point at certain handling of situations by these individuals. Now, I'll take the first guy there, FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode, who was visibly insulting a journalist, calling him stupid several times. And he did not just stop there, although there's a follow-up video where he has apologized, but that's not the point. That's besides the point. What we're talking about here is how he handled that. And what's even more interesting is where he said, I have a short fuse. He proudly said, I have a short fuse. Having a short fuse, in my opinion, is not something that a leader should be proud of. Yes, it's possible for us to naturally have those tendencies, but one of the things that makes you a leader is the ability to develop and improve yourself in certain areas. So being proud of the fact that you have a short fuse is not something that a leader should be. Now, in the case of Trump, you saw how he just kept shouting at the guys, and all these opportunities he had, he just made sure he reduced them to almost nothing. But in the case of Barack Obama, you saw how he handled the press guys. The most interesting one is that guy in his house where he eventually turned the whole thing to comedy and everybody just laughed over it. That's someone who is in control, or absolute control of his emotions. And so, what is leadership without emotional intelligence? I personally don't think there's any such thing as leadership without emotional intelligence, because leadership is all about influence. All you're doing in leadership is you're trying to influence people's ideas, trying to influence people's way of thinking, trying to, cause people to direct people's energy, ideas, opinion in certain direction. That's basically what leadership is all about. And so if you're not able to master your own emotions and then understand and also be able to influence other people's emotions. How else would you be able to lead anyone? How else? No way at all. And so, if we're not preparing ourselves for crisis, like most of the leaders we are seeing across the world have prepared themselves for, then we must improve on our emotional intelligence. And the good news is, emotional intelligence is learnable, it's teachable, it's something somebody can acquire. And I won't pretend to say I want to discuss emotional intelligence in this short video. All I'm basically doing is trying to bring our attention to the fact that this is one skill that, although not many people are talking about, is a skill that we should all work towards acquiring if we want to be effective leaders. And to really understand or to really develop emotional intelligence, one must first understand how emotions work. So basically, emotion, you have a feeling, like in the case of FFK, he got angry by whatever question that journalist asked him. So there was a physiological change. There will be definitely a release of chemical hormone that would now affect a behavior, someone's behavior. So sometimes it's like an automated process that happens. So the first thing one needs to do in trying to improve emotional intelligence is understanding, knowing your own emotions, mastering your own emotional response, or in short terms, know thyself. So there are times where you know that if you find yourself in certain situations, you won't be able to control yourself. Knowing that about yourself is the first step towards emotional intelligence, because you try as much as you can to avoid such situations. If you get to that point where you really understand your own emotions, you should also try at all costs, or as much as you can, to avoid those things that are kind of like your stress triggers, your stressors. Try as much as you can to avoid them. Also, I believe that in dealing with or connecting with other people's emotions, listening is a very essential part of connecting with people. Social skills, a large percentage of social skills or social interaction lies in ability to listen. And when we say listening, I attended a workshop recently and I realized that I'm a very, very bad or poor listener. And I've started working on that. What I realized about myself, I don't know about you, maybe if you analyze your situation clearly, you might come to that conclusion. What I realized about myself is when I'm listening to people, I have a way of analyzing what they're saying in my mind. So you're talking to me, I'm trying to, make sense of what you're saying. I'm trying to analyze. I'm trying to put myself a step ahead of you. And what that does is it reduces how well I listen to people. And when we say listening, we're not just talking about being able to understand or comprehend what someone is saying. Listening goes beyond that. Ability to connect with people when they talk to you. By listening effectively, you can make someone even say things that they were not planning to say. Having eye contact. Those gestures that you bring in, nodding and all of those stuff that make somebody know that yes, asking questions as they continue. Those are the things that makes the person you're talking to you to really understand that you are actually listening to them. That's not something I've been doing, and I'm really working on that. I'm improving on that. So these are qualities or things that we should be aware of, and as we strive towards becoming leaders, we need to develop ourselves in these areas. So in summary, what I'm saying is emotional intelligence is extremely, extremely, extremely important for effective leadership. And if our aspirational plans are to become effective leaders tomorrow, we must start building and improving on our emotional intelligence. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end. As usual, the entire essence of this video is for us to grow together as leaders. I don't want to be a selfish person to just be developing my leadership skills alone. All I'm trying to do is put whatever skills, whatever I've learned out there, and get other people to contribute and also grow along. So please feel free to leave comments down below, and also liking and subscribing will help us get more people on board this journey up the impact ladder. So see you in the next video, and thank you very much.